being a boss is not easy. It's not easy to be a boss. It's not easy to be a leader. Okay, bye, hon. Bye, Oscar. I always get like the mom guilt, hey? Yeah. Yeah. What's been on my mind is the idea of leadership. I'm realizing just how much leadership, like anything, is also a muscle that you train and flex and develop and practice over time. Okay, let's jump in.
Yeah.
We just want to be really organized this week because then we're off next week and then not back until January. So we kind of want to have a really good idea of what's going to happen this week and then what's going to happen the first week of January. It's just like leveling up, right? You can't stay who you are and do the same things that you do every single day if you want to grow. It doesn't make sense. You have to push yourself and you have to almost force yourself to be a bigger, better version of yourself. And I think maybe that's why I love entrepreneurship so much, is because I feel like I'm constantly evolving, I'm constantly growing, I'm constantly becoming a better version of myself. And that's really exciting. Like, I love growth and I love evolution. And is there a reason why in this case you decided to go square instead of rounded or oval?
For a mirror?
Yeah.
Again, we're just showing, instead of any columns, we're just keeping it quite simple and painted white. They wanted a single lever faucet. They have a big square mirror and then 2 small sconces on either side.
Okay, yeah, good job, guys. So when you guys block up, this is exactly what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
Just the size of the room. It's great that you already have the casing on it. Doors, windows, just like basic detail, not taking any further than that. Because there's so much that I want to accomplish and so many exciting things and so many people that I want to be part of the journey, and because I want to grow so much, it requires me to be incredibly focused and clear and concise in the way that I spend my time and in the way that I communicate. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll talk to him and then I'll get back to you guys. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Bye. Okay. This right off the bat, I think this looks awesome because this is a nice, like, the palette is really nice and packaged already. Okay, so maybe like process of elimination first.
Yeah. Well,
this is really cool.
like a lot of the thinner paneling. It's really interesting. Like a lot of the images have that.
This is Mad Men too, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just different. Right?
A different view.
Lower.
I really like this. I really like that. So I think we keep that for sure. This.
It's a bit cash.
Maybe too casual. Maybe we lose that one.
Okay. Do you want to? Oh,
It's like, how 70s can you go?
I know.
Because it's so easy to get like comfortable.
Yeah.
And, you know, or to have these dreams and to have these goals, and they become exactly that. They're just a dream. They're just this, like, you know, thing that's floating around, but there's no action behind it to actually attain what that dream is. Or you get really comfortable in your life and, you know, you're not getting the results that you want, but you're probably you're not doing the things that you need to do in order to yield that. And sometimes I think it's a matter of not just I don't mean like doing more, hustling more, working harder. I don't mean that. Sometimes it's even just like looking at your life and going, okay, what are the things that I need to start saying no to? Like, what is not serving me anymore? What do I need to say no to in order to yield a different result? Happy Monday, everyone. It's about 4:45 on Monday afternoon. Had a good day back in the office. I hope you guys had a good Monday. I am over at Windsor High School. I'm doing another talk with some high school kids. Can you tell me where the classroom 211 is? Is down this way? Okay, perfect. Oh, yeah. Okay, perfect. It's so cool that you guys can actually take a business elective in high school now, because
there's a lot more available now than there ever was.
When there ever was. I didn't have that option at all, and if I did, I would have totally eaten it up. I love business. I could talk about business all day long. I love the idea of startup, and I love talking to young people that kind of want to start a business and get something off the ground. People are always asking questions like, okay, how do you get there? Like, what courses do I need to take? Like, how do I become successful? And it's such a strange question for me, because I really feel like to be a true entrepreneur, there just is no roadmap for whatever it is that you want to do. A lot of it is just trial and error. And the times in my businesses when I've failed the hardest and the worst, as painful as it is going through it, looking back, they've always been the most amazing learning lessons. And they've always, in the end, made my business so much stronger and made me so much stronger as a business person. One thing I should say is sometimes I think there's a mentality right now that you have to be really passionate about what you're doing, and you need to find your passion, and if you find your passion, you will be successful at it. And I think that's true to some degree. Like, obviously you have to love what you're going to be working every day on, but at the same time, when I think about my interior design business, like, I wasn't in high school, or I didn't grow up as a kid going like, oh my God, I can't wait to be an interior designer, like I just have to do this. It was something that I had sort of fallen into after university, and then built a business out of it and really love it and am passionate about my business, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it was like my number one passion. And I just want to share that with you guys, because if you are entrepreneurial, like, you really can turn a business out of anything. Yeah, I can talk a little bit. I would love to hear, like, if you guys have any questions right off the bat, or just kind of if you have business ideas, or I just kind of like to take temperature and kind of get into a Q&A like right away and use that as a discussion, if that's okay with you guys. Yeah.
How did you build like your reputation in the interior design kind of world so that you could have those bigger projects?
Yeah, I'd say that's a great question. Interior design is a service-based business. So we take on a client and then we service them, and our typical projects will last anywhere from like a year to about a year and a half. Some of them last like 2.5 years, 3 years out, and then some of them are really quick, like 6 months, but they're usually about a year and a half. And so building my reputation, like, literally was like brick by brick, where you do one little project. My very first project that I ever did by myself was a bathroom renovation for a nightclub called Lola's. I don't even know if it's still there, in Kitsilano. And all it was like the men's and women's bathroom. And I was so excited to do it. And all it was like picking new tile so that they could rip out the old tile and put new tile up. But I did a good job. The client was happy. They asked me to do something else. And then, it kind of turned into another thing and turned into another thing. But the projects that I started doing were like really, really small. But I'm a believer that every opportunity that comes your way, as shitty as that you might think it might be on the onset, if you can turn it into a good opportunity, and if you can really deliver and over deliver, you'll create more opportunity for yourself. Yeah.
How do you go about marketing this? Do you go about like word of mouth or anything? And also, when you have people say House of Bohn, think of it, what do you want them to think? What do you want your image to be?
Yeah. So marketing for interior design, marketing is a lot of word of mouth, but I do a ton of business development. And so I will go and speak to a lot of like entrepreneurial groups, and people are always shocked to hear at how much business development that I do. I'm constantly doing business development. Like I'm constantly cold calling still. I'm always trying to team up with different developers. And the reason I do that is because even though I have, a great reputation and people know who, and the phone rings, you still want to avoid like slow times and economic downturn times. And I have overhead and staff to pay for, and to keep the whole thing going, I need a certain amount of revenue every year and every month. And when I'm picking up the phone and calling potential like contractors or developers that I could work with, I know that phone call probably will not turn into a job for about 2 to 2.5 years. So I have to call them, and then I have to meet with them, and then I probably have to do a lunch with them, and then maybe a drink with them, and then another lunch with them, and then maybe I'll write a proposal, maybe I won't win that one, and then maybe the second or third proposal I'll actually win that job. And that whole time frame takes 2 to 2.5 years. So it can be a very, very long kind of like business development cycle. And then I want people to know when they think of House of Bohn, they think of really high-end, really luxury types of projects. And quality. That's like my number one thing, is when people think of House of Bohn, I want them to think of quality. Because honestly, there's so many interior designers in Vancouver, and there's so many builders. And sometimes when you look at websites, it's just like you can't tell the difference from one to the next. So I want people to, when they see our work, to know that it was a House of Bohn project. So hopefully it was helpful. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Oscar, is there a reason you're wearing a sock on your head?
What are you doing?
Oscar, are you hiding under that sock? What are you doing there, bud? Are you wearing a sock on your... Oh.